welcome back to our 2-Minute Tuesdays with Dave and Trisha. Why did I use my whole name? That
Wow.
was weird.
Am I going to be Dave next?
David and Trisha.
David and Trisha.
Well,
are we in trouble?
Our
Mom?
question is from David.
Is it?
So,
we got a lot of those from David. I think it's going to be the month of David.
the month of David.
2-minute.
Today's question is from David.
Yes.
And he asked, what is church?
Okay.
That's a very...
Very broad, but
Yeah.
here we go. Okay, so people have been trying to answer that for centuries, as long as there has been a church. The Greek root ecclesia means gathering or gathering of those called. So there's a sense of coming together and also being called by something beyond yourself. There's body of Christ language that we've used where we come together and we are part of God and God is part of us. But St. Augustine also talked about the visible church, the church you see here, and the invisible church, the church you have no idea and don't know about, but it's spread across the world, not just in places like this, but in people you'd never suspect. So we've never come up with a good answer, and I think that's a good thing because there are two characteristics that really define a church beyond any other. It is something that's not you, something beyond you that you come together around, and there's the sense of not being able to define the borders permanently. That there's always room for like people in and out and other possibilities beyond the walls or the circle that you gather in. And as long as you have those two things, people gathering around the divine that is not you and this sense of motion and breathing, then you have what I would call a valid or an interesting church. As soon as you gather only around yourself and say this is only about us and the walls are closed and you have to get admission to get in, even though that looks like a lot of churches that we have, that's not really true to the definition of church. So, gathering beyond yourself and this idea of growth or permeability, and you've got yourself something resembling a church.
All right. Well, thanks, David, for your question. We will see you next week. Wait, I am really just going for it.
Yeah.
We also have other platforms you can ask us questions. I was going to close out the video.
Oh, that's right. Well, you can see us next week, or in the meantime, find me at Dave Deckard on Twitter, where David's questions came from, and also lightofthespirit.church,
He's just gonna go for it all.
pastor@sov-id.org. See, I'm filling in for you.
I know, apparently.
We don't know the borders of the church or of the cues
Weird
for
video.
write-in stuff. It's okay. We don't know what's going on, but it's still church.
Exactly. All right, now I'm going to close out the video. We will see you next week for our next video.